Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video. All right, so I had to pause my workout because I just don't have it today. Some days your body just doesn't have it when you get to a certain age, and I'm certainly that age. But at any rate, enjoying myself just the same because I'm listening to everybody talk about the Lakers, and of course I'm warming up to the understanding of, just the overall feel of what the league's overall chatter is about right now in regards to our game. And of course, people are just curious to see what Laker team is going to show up at home in a game six. Obviously, game five, we, had some issues getting to the rim, getting to the line, and everything else that had to do with, how we overall operate. And, I don't think we had the best show in regards to our strategy and things of that nature. I think most people would agree that we had some struggles there. But all in all, we think we can give a better effort out tonight at home in a game six. And, I think that much is to be said about how tired both of these teams should be right now. So that I think could play into what we see. Now, I know the Golden State Warriors have been leaning on Andrew Wiggins a little more. He has obviously the rib cage fracture situation that he's going to have to make a decision on tonight, whether or not he wants to play on it. And to be honest with you, with that situation kind of being up in the air, you don't really know what to expect from the Golden State Warriors in regards to the rotations or how much they're going to be able to use Wiggins, because he's a very intricate piece, and they're going to need his shooting. He's really played pretty well on the road in the losses that they had. So, a lot of what they do tonight will be determined by how much they're able to use him, in my opinion. Now, of course, we already talked about, you know, Game 6 Clay and how that's a real thing that we're going to have to keep an eye on and monitor how well he's playing, where his confidence is at, and how well others are playing off of him based on that, how much they're looking to feed him based on that, those kind of things. If they try to use him as a decoy, that kind of thing. So we just have to be smart tonight. And just understand that the Golden State Warriors got their back against the wall. So they're going to play all out. They're not going to hold anything back. And they're very much looking forward to a game 7 back in their crib where they feel like they're firmly in position to win it. So we should have a certain level of urgency as it pertains to how we're going to defend tonight. Now, one thing that I listened to Jason Timpf say just now that I think I can bring to this channel and really kind of zero in is just how clutch our defense has been. How well we've been able to defend down the last 5 minutes of these games. And we're the best team in that regard right now. And there's something to be said for just how well Darvin has gotten this team together in regards to playing defense down the stretch of basketball games, how well the players have reacted to these moments where you have to stop somebody. How fantastic Anthony Davis has been clutch in terms of clutch moments down on the defensive side. Much has been said about how guys hit the last shot. You know what I'm saying? And so much is glorified in regards to the guys that are able to do so, but not a whole lot of credence is given to the guy that gets the last stop, the guy that's ever able to slow the other team's best player down when he's trying to look to have a Michael or a Kobe moment. And that's what we have over here is Anthony Davis being able to do that for us. And so as long as he's not fouling three-point shooters, you know what I'm saying? We've learned that lesson a couple times, but as long as we're learning from mistakes that we've made in the past, I'm pretty confident that if he's healthy and isn't woozy from the head injury, that we're going to get a good Anthony Davis tonight with a very urgent situation. I look at these Lakers and I say through 2 series, through 5 games of this series, we have yet to have our back against the wall. We've put other teams in that situation, haven't really closed the deal like we should in game 5s. But in game 6, we blew Memphis out. I'm not saying this is Memphis. In fact, I'm telling you they're not. But what we do have in our arsenal is the understanding that we just did that to someone. So we need to come out with that understanding tonight and bring the urgency necessary to match the effort we provided ourselves in game 6 of the Memphis series. And if we match that, maybe that'll be enough. Maybe, you know what I mean? Going up against this type of talent, it may not be, but we understand what we're up against. And I think playing loose, playing free, playing smart, and just getting lost in the game, just like Steph Curry said he's going to be doing, is the way to go. Look at a guy like Austin Reeves. It's a big game tonight. A big game may have clutch moments. I expect for him to shine. I do. I expect if he's on the floor, he's going to provide us some big buckets and some big plays on both sides of the floor. We have to limit our flops. We know the referees do not necessarily find themselves being a consistent entity from night to night. So we got to play it by ear in regards to what and how they go about officiating this basketball game. And if they're clobbering us to high hell, we know that, if the whistles don't come, that we're going to have to shoot some threes and we're going to have to make those shots. Driving in to take a punishment only works if they call the foul or if we're able to convert on those on that punishment. So play it by ear. That's the only way to play it. That's what I would tell anybody, in watching enough basketball games. No two games are alike, really. So hitting your free throws is ultimately what gave us the win in game 4. Yeah, when we went up 3-1, we were 20 for 20 from the free throw line, and it's so important that we try to duplicate that if at all possible. Not necessarily 20 attempts, but the perfection. Getting to the line and hitting them all, because at the end of the day, every point counts, and this is obviously the biggest game thus far. So the urgency has been met every time. When we had a play-in tournament situation, when we had to win games to make the play-in tournament, when we had to get out of the first round and getting that 3-1 lead, we have met the challenge each and every time. And I'm telling you, this team has something about it that even though when it works against itself and has its, kind of relaxed attitude, it can be a little frustrating. But when it wants to buckle down and beat somebody, it's done it. With the stars, without stars, we've shown good form and played hard a good portion of the time. And I just expect that will be what we see from our team tonight. Even if we're struggling shooting the ball, I do expect that defense will be something that we play and effort be something that we give out there. And, I expect the Golden State Warriors to do the same. They have hard-nosed, roughnecks, so to speak, kind of guys. You're looking at Looney, you're looking at Draymond, you're looking at Wiggins, you're looking at GP too. I expect those guys are going to be on the floor with Steph a lot of the time. And they're killers, man. They're looking to take us out. Klay Thompson, obviously. Don't underestimate Klay Thompson's defense. Okay, that's what people need to understand. He is a gifted defensive player naturally. And even though he may have lost a step or two, he still has those skills in his arsenal. He is not to be trifled with on that side of the floor. Especially on a night like tonight when Game 6 Klay is a thing. Everybody's expect for him to hit big shots. Do not be surprised if he gets the big stop. Pay attention to that side of the ball when it comes to this player. I haven't forgotten how great of a defensive player he was before the knee injury started hitting. I haven't forgotten. So that's really how that goes. Jordan Poole, yes, he started finding his rhythm in the last game. And if you're looking at his 3-game trajectory from game 4 to basically now, you expect for him to play better because he's been playing a little bit better. And the coach has been increasing his minutes as the series is progressing too. So I expect him to be very, very intricate tonight. And if we happen to lose, even more so intricate in Game 7. So stay on Poole alert. We do not waver from that truth. We know exactly what that kid can do, whether he's playing well this season or not. We stay on Poole alert at all times. So these are things that we're just thinking about. And in regards to Steph Curry, Steph is going to do whatever he wants to do. He's one of the best players to ever play the game. He's by far the greatest person to ever shoot a ball. So this is not somebody that we can necessarily contain. If anything, we just got to hope to God he's not shooting more efficiently than we're able to as a team. And that is not guaranteed, quite honestly. That's how legendary and how talented this individual is. So the one thing that we have on him is the ability to put him in positions that he doesn't want to be in foul-wise. I always say, no matter how great a player is, in this league, he only got 6 fouls to use. So if we can get those first 2 early, it puts his coach in a very, very wacky situation. And so that is what I'm always preaching in regards to these guys that we really cannot stop. The league has allowed for 6 fouls. That's how you stop the unstoppable. No matter who he is. Literally. No matter who he is. So that's really what it comes down to. We need to seek out ways of getting that team in foul trouble. Game 6 Klay can't hurt us with 6 fouls. I'll tell you that right now. Game 6 Klay can't hurt us with 6 fouls. I'm telling you, as complicated as we make life, getting guys in foul trouble is not hard at all. Now, you don't want to flop off of people and put yourself in a position to have empty plays, because we did a lot of that early on in Game 5, and I think it led to why they ended up going on a run. You can't seek out the flop on the defensive end. You got to see the play through sometimes. Don't be so obvious. It could be the difference between winning and losing. But all in all, at the same time, when we're looking to drive at the rim and various different things that we can do, pulling up mid-range, putting Steph in situations, pick and roll type of situations and make them switch off on players they don't want to defend in the paint is a very, very, very good way to do anything like this. When you got a team that you have size advantages against, the best thing to do is to try to manipulate ways of exploiting those advantages on the offensive end. Because at the end of the day, as good as a team as the Golden State Warriors are, the one thing they don't want to do is have to deal with bully ball in regards to Steph Curry trying to guard Rui Hachimura or something like that, trying to rebound over Wenyen Gabriel and Vanderbilt in the paint. If you're Wiggins and stuff like that, that's picking up unnecessary fouls that they do not want to pick up. And so that's really key as well. And also just improving our transition defense. My God, man. We've talked a lot about it. I was listening to Jason Tim say it as well. We're really bad in transition right now. And I know why it is, because we're putting the wrong players on the floor in these certain rotations for long periods at a time that cannot necessarily exploit our ability to defend in transition. We have the personnel. We just got to use them. So put the guys back on the floor who can actually defend in transition tonight, and let's give the Golden State Warriors a much more defensive look. This is why I didn't necessarily want to remove Troy Brown, because I look at him as probably one of our better transition defensive players. You got Shaquille Harrison out there, even though we don't want to use him in Game 6 probably necessarily. When you think about trying to put an end to certain things, it's not like we don't have the personnel that can help us in those areas. So, just by example, in a perfect world, we're rotating players to help us with any and everything. You know what I mean? In my mind, the NBA uses its entire roster for situations such as these. We got problems like that? Go further down the roster. Tell me we still have problems with that. We don't. You know what I mean? We just got to be not so afraid to use those guys. But in a situation like this, people are most definitely going to be too afraid to use people, and sometimes it'll be the reason why they lose. You know what I mean? Straight honestly. Sometimes these coaches overthink it. It's like, okay, you got to shrink your bench. Are you sure? Because if you utilize some of them other dudes' stuff and the things that they can do, you might be able to plug up some of those holes that are happening to you. Thibodeau. Anyway, so that's just me talking. Nevertheless, we're looking at this situation here, and we're saying, with how many hours left? The game starts at 7 o'clock. So, yeah, it's still early. It's only 1 o'clock Pacific time here. So, 5-6 hours left. Well, I can't count, but it's 6 hours left. And to be honest with you, I hope the guys are getting rest right now. I heard that they're not going to be doing any practice today. I don't have any problem with that, because at the end of the day, it's only 1 day's rest, and that is the most important thing. You can do all the practicing and studying you want to do, but if you go out there exhausted, you ain't doing nothing. Believe me, I know all about that right now. But nevertheless, hopefully the rest is there. And I was looking at LeBron James. He looked fed up. He's ready to get out of the series. He wants to exit this series. He's ready to shut up all the chatter. The disrespect from the last series is still in the air. He hasn't particularly shot as well. He hasn't particularly controlled things the way he wants to. He's still staring down the barrel of Steph Curry. The man just won't go away. That kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's like, I just sense that LeBron James is really fed up with all of this and would not want nothing more than to end this thing tonight. And I'm pretty damn certain if he has his way, that's exactly how well he'll play. So I think this could potentially be a big LeBron game, but that's only if his body will allow it, because he did have a little bit of a thing with that foot. And he does have a propensity to shoot these 22% three-point shots. So if he's not willing to commit to driving and kind of hitting mid-range jump shots, maybe having a little bit better efficiency tonight, Efficiency King should return in a Game 6. Let's just be honest. When you have the best version of LeBron James, he's barely missing in games like this. And so hopefully he will have a very, very good rhythmic evening for our squad, because if he's not good or if he's taken away from us, trust you me, Steph Curry's going to be eating. He going to eat. So we can't be like that as it pertains to taking possessions off. And so, D'Lo, that's another one. We got to manage D'Lo. If he's going to play well tonight, cool, we can definitely utilize him. But if he's going to be out there not necessarily giving us what we need, I think it's getting away from him quickly is probably the way to go. He can tend to play well in games like this. He can tend to disappear in games like this. But because we have so much talent, it's probably not in our best interest to live and die with him. If he doesn't have it, we can definitely move on. Dennis Schroeder, we know he's dealing with the Achilles, so he's not the same player right now. He's dealing with the ankle and all that. He's trying his very best. He had the best plus minus in the game in the last one, and I know why that is, because he's not trying to extend this series. But we already talked about how it was a post that his wife had put out saying that she wants him to hurry and get out of the series so we can go back to Germany and get treatment before the next one. But it's just not possible at this point. So I saw how well he was trying to force, his will in regards to playing positively, trying to contribute to winning. And hopefully he has a little more to give us tonight. You know what I mean? Hopefully that thing isn't bothering him too much, because if D'Lo doesn't have it, we're going to need him, and we're going to need him to play his best. His three ball has been falling a little bit. I think it was like 50% in the last game or something like that. So we definitely appreciate that is the case. We're just going to need more out of the others. We're home now, so even though I call this anxiety arena, our guys have been playing great here since I've been calling it that, basically. So hopefully we continue to feel comfortable in this building. Hopefully the atmosphere is louder. Obviously we're going to be sharing the building with Golden State faithful. Since this is a Game 6, they're going to fill up the building for sure. But we'll obviously be in there representing ourselves and doing it loud. So that's what I want to see tonight is a certain Laker pride about ourselves, not only as it pertains to the fans and all that, but as it pertains to the team and how we approach this basketball game. We want to be proud of ourselves tonight. And if we have to go into a Game 7, we want to know we're going into a Game 7 with momentum. Now, how the heck can that happen if you lose? Well, if you play well enough and you happen to lose at the buzzer because it just happened like that, then you know that both teams are going in confident. Be a heartbreaker, but we won't feel like our souls was ripped out of our chests as it pertains to not being able to compete in the next one. But if we come out and don't play well, get blown out, I'll say two things. One, we're in trouble. Two, we conserved energy, and that stays on par with everything I've always said about this series, which is if there's a loss, teams will probably let the door stay open so that they can buy themselves the rest with 1 day's rest in between games. So, yeah, there's a good chance the Lakers get blown out. If it does turn into a loss, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a big enough loss for a garbage time. So that would be worst case scenario for all of us fans. I don't anticipate us playing that bad, nor do I find myself certain that they won't just play everybody 48 minutes anyway just because of the circumstances. Not certain. But there's a world where we continue to let these wins get out of hand for the Golden State Warriors to conserve energy. Now, of course, with them, that doesn't serve, because at the end of the day, they don't want to concede a blowout with their lives on the line. So if they do get blown out, it's going to be because we beat them, just as bad as heck in spite of them giving us their best effort, which is, I don't think anybody's anticipating. Now, if we do blow them out, it'll be because they are tired, man, in my humble opinion. If for some reason we really have an easygoing game, I expect it would be that they just have lethargy going on. One of the things that has to happen is Draymond Green is going to have to continue to speed run and get to the rim and score for them. They're going to need interior scoring and paint stuff from him. And so I don't know if he can keep that up for 2 more games with 1 day's rest after having that be the way it went in Game 2, and it worked. And then it worked in Game 5. So it's like this is probably how he's going to have to play for the next 2 games in order to have success against us. That's something we can exploit. And that's something we can understand in regards to trying to remove him from the game with foul trouble. So these are things that I'm thinking about. They haven't shown us anything we haven't seen. So if anything, I expect our guys to get better at their coverages. These little funny little passing plays where they run screens and all this other stuff that they're doing on the left side of the floor. I expect our guys like Dennis Schroeder and Austin Reeves and Vanderbilt, whoever's on the floor guarding this crap, is just going to simply get better at it, hopefully. They got to switch it up somehow, because our guys are getting a look at it. And even though it confused us a little bit, we got some fast learners. A guy like Austin is a fast learner. And so these are the type of things that I'm looking at. I'm saying I expect for him to have a big night tonight. Maybe not big scoring, because he's kind of been here and there with his scoring, his shooting. But I expect for him to be key, man. I really, really expect Austin to be key tonight. At home, yeah. In a Game 6, yeah. He's going to have his imprint on this basketball game for certain. And I'm looking for somebody else to come and kind of step in and just go crazy. Obviously, we want Anthony Davis to be consistent. The best Anthony Davis is blocking shots and rebounding. If he's giving us 5 blocks and 20 boards, believe you me, Golden State's out of here. They cannot sustain him playing like that. I'm telling you right now. If he has one of those games, this game could be over early. It could. But then just the same with Steph Curry. If he hits 23s on the game, who knows what these guys can do when you talk about the level that we're staring at right here. So that's what it is. It's Anthony Davis versus Steph Curry, really, when it comes down to it. That's what it really comes down to. Those are the two mainstays that have to play well in order for their teams to have a chance. If either one of those dudes are struggling tonight, it's going to be tough. It's going to be very tough to see that team win. But with that being said, talking about us, I just want to see somebody else step up. You know, Lonnie Walker was game 4. Draymond Green was game 5 for them. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be somebody new for us now. Who is it? Is it going to be a D'Lo night? Can he hit like 5 threes tonight or something like that? Because if he's having one of those shooting nights where he's letting it fly real loose and it ain't bricking and all that, I mean, if he's super confident, that's how the score goes up. So, given the fact this is the Golden State Warriors, I would caution us to not fall in love with something unprecedented that may give us success early and think that we can decompress off the gas if for some reason we start getting like 8 threes straight or to start the game and you go up by like 20. That's not sustainable. You know what I'm saying? So those are the type of things that we have to be mindful of. If something is fool's gold, be real about that in the halftime and come out the locker room with a certain level of effort necessary to sustain whatever lead you may stumble upon if for some reason something like that happens. You know, because there's a lot of stuff like if Golden State goes 1-for-11 from behind the arc in the first half, not to say that I expect them to have 11 attempts, but if for some reason they're shooting that poorly, that's not sustainable. They're going to shoot better in the second half. You better be ready for that. So these are the type of things that we can say right now, think about right now, and anticipate with this being a 2-game situation for us. You know, we're in a 2-game tournament with the same squad. They got to win 1 to beat us. They got to win 2 to beat us. We got to win 1 to beat them. So that's how we got to look at it, man. But we've already been looking at them for 5 games, so ain't nothing they about to run that basically we haven't seen some version of, I believe. Although that is Steve Kerr, so be careful. He's been in every great locker room there is. So there's most definitely, there's some more plays that are in his head that he can unleash on us that we haven't seen. I just want to put that out there because this is not true. A guy's been in Chicago's locker room. He's been in his very own, obviously, with Golden State. He's been in San Antonio's locker room. There's an NBA champion in all of those in multiple situations. Multiple championships with all of those situations. Steve Kerr, man. Seriously. From the opposite end, my God, bro. Seriously. Just give him a second there. But nevertheless, that's what we're going up against, man. That's what we're going up against. Simply a very, very, very great set of winners. But we also have some guys that I think are going to start the process of being the exact same thing. But if they're gonna do that, you got to win games like this. You shouldn't have dropped game 5, but you definitely need to win games like this. So it's up to us. If we're going to start being that kind of guy, Austin Reeves, and damn it, you got to win a game like this. That's really what it comes down to. The way I look at Steph Curry, the way I look at LeBron James, the way I look at Klay Thompson, all these guys, Draymond Green's winners. Winners. But the only way a winner ever going to become a winner is if he beats winners. And if you want to lose the winners, you'll be a loser like the rest of the field. And we'll just put you in that category. There's many of them. But if you want to be a winner and be revered like this no matter what after this, then this is the game you got to win. How about it? You know what I'm saying? You won so many other games leading up to this point. Yet another game. This one got to be won. And if you beat this guy, guess what you do? Steve Kerr with that saluting resume, you send him to his first series loss in his Golden State tenure as coach. In the series. In terms of losing the series itself, yeah. No. So we need to understand that as we're going up against this dude and understand they don't lose too often. If they're up in the series, they don't lose too often. If they have opportunity to take you back, they're taking you back. In any type of situation like that, these guys have come through. And so we need to take advantage of the fact that they are in a torture chamber with us because we have this advantage. We are a bigger team. We do got LeBron. They are someone he's beaten and taken the championship from. And so they have some memories and some nightmares of him just like he has some nightmares of them. So as I was listening to Draymond Green talk about Steph referring to trying to figure LeBron out in the first game, LeBron wasn't taking a lot of shots and he couldn't figure him out. He's like, I can't figure Bron out. That's what Dre was saying, Steph was saying. Can't figure him out. That's exactly how we want it to be tonight. Bron is exactly how we want it to be tonight. If Steph Curry's confused about how you're approaching the situation, that's probably the best way to go. Tonight, and if happen to lose this one, game 7 as well. We want to stay as unpredictable as possible. That doesn't mean doing things that doesn't work in our favor, just because they may not expect it. I don't think that works. But we got to pull, we know what we're doing at this point. We didn't get this far by accident, and that's the point that I want to make. Salute the Kobe minute. We didn't get here by accident. We didn't. our guys put together a roster that was well thought out. Study and was put in. Hours were put in. You can tell by the construction of the roster that this wasn't an overnight thing. Coaching staff is learning. Rookie on the fly with a whole lot of experience, but never this type of experience. But his team is ready. He keeps his team ready. Even if they don't run the stuff that I want to see, he keeps his team ready. You know what I'm saying? And this is further into the season than a lot of rookie coaches ever dream of getting. And so this is something that you want to say, we just got to keep on pushing forward. Some of the stuff that we've done has just flat out been right. Even though we complain a lot on this channel, we ain't doing everything wrong, because if we were, we definitely wouldn't be here. So we need to carry that pride forward as we go into this situation against the Golden State Warriors and respect what it is that we've done already as it pertains to what it is that needs to be done in order to win tonight. That's effort. Effort is why we're here. Effort is why we're going anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Effort is why we even got out of that 2-10 deficit. Salute to the guys that aren't with us no more on this team who helped us get here. But, it took the entire collective the entire time. And that's what it's going to take tonight. It can't be a one-man show. It can't be a two-man show. You see the teams that are trying that, they're losing. That's what the Lakers need to understand. Look at all the teams that only want to use one or two guys. Look at all the teams that really actually shorten their bench. How they doing right now? How they doing? They're gone. Those teams are gone. Do you know why they're gone? Because you need the sum of your entire parts to win. And I think tonight, if the Lakers can sum together 7 players, 6 players or more with double figures, I'll like our chances of winning this basketball tonight. That's how we win. When you got 3 or 4 other guys on this team with 20 points or more. But you can't do that if you're shrinking the bench and not allowing certain guys that you trusted all season long to get you here. You don't trust them to get you home. Like, people talk about chemistry and all these different things, but you get all the way to when it matters the most, and you tell the guys that did the heavy lifting that they are not good enough to play when it matters the most, and assume that you're actually going to get there without those heavy lifters. It's amazing to me how this league has convinced itself of this. Nevertheless, we're going to rectify that by telling y'all something different. Shrinking your bench when you have a deep team is bad. Shrinking your bench when you have a not so deep team is really bad, because those bad players are not getting better. So either way, no matter how you look at it, you need to be using everybody. And if you do, you'll keep guys like Devin Booker and Kevin Durant healthier. You understand what I'm saying? And with more energy to take on some of these teams. And the other guys will, like I said, just simply be better around them. So we don't really have that problem. Our coach used a lot of our guys because our guys are really good and they can perform for him. But he has to use more of them, and he has to use them in rotations that really work for him. And that doesn't happen as much as it needs to for us to dominate as much as I know this team is capable of. So I hope tonight can be the beginning of us showing that we know who we are. Because a lot of this leading up to this moment has been this team trying to find itself, not just as it pertains to its identity, but just trying to find who it is. Who, are you a champion? Or are you a team that loses to the champion? You know what I'm saying? Are you a team that has respect for itself in regards to the efforts already put in? Is it going to be a smart team, a stupid team in these situations when you go up against champions? Or are you going to just be food for these guys and cower to them because of their history? Many a team lost to us because they cowered to us because of our history. We skated by. We didn't play the best ball, but they saw our stars and they walked away. We can't do that against them. We got to know who we are when we go up against guys like that. And this don't apply to LeBron James necessarily, obviously not. But the rest of the team, honestly, you can't respect them dudes more than you respect yourself when you go into a game like this. You earned your way here just like they did this season. Let's go at it. Simply put, let's go at it. And show them dudes what it is that is worthy of beating an NBA champion. Because if you don't go out there and show them that you can give them 40, because they ain't going to say it, but they thinking it, then you ain't going to gain their respect, and they're going to have a lot of confidence beating you in Game 7. You got to take them out to earn their respect. Straight up. It's a whole generation of people that do not expect us to win either one of these next 2 games. Just because this team has been the only team hoisting the trophy their entire lives. You have a chance to show them something. I would say different, but that's just not true. We won too many championships for me to use the word different. But you got a chance to show them something that they need to see. And that is what the Lakers are about. And let them see what us hoisting the trophy outside of a bubble really looks like. A parade down Figueroa, what that culture really looks like in 2023. I think this world deserves to see that once again. So that's where I'm at with it. You know what I mean? I don't know who else is going to be competing. Philadelphia, I'm pretty sure, wants one. Boston obviously wants one. Denver's never had a championship. You know what I'm saying? Miami, I'm pretty sure they would love to get their championship as well. So New York, my God, 71, right? So we're not the only ones involved, but at the end of the day, I think we have the best roster of them all. I'd say so. I'd say so. I've been saying so. And I'm going to tell you that if we don't come out and act like it, then it won't really matter. That's a fact. So that's really what it comes down to, man. Transition defense, keeping them off of the offensive glass. If we play good transition defense and keep them off of the offensive glass, those are two key things that they've been killing us doing. They've been able to get second chance points to run their little geometry, and they've been able to basically get out there and score every time we have a missed 3-point shot or a missed any type of situation, turning the ball over, what have you. They're turning those into buckets. We're not defending them properly. If we can put forth a way to do that, and I'm telling you, removing Vanderbilt directly affects that. Believe you me, you're not going to have those problems. Vanderbilt's on the floor. Not at all, coach. You can't play him 11 points and expect your 11 minutes and expect your team to be good in transition. It's not going to happen. Not a chance. So you got to get him back in rotation. Probably Troy Brown for that too, especially since DS is hobbled and D'Lo is too. So these are things that we have to be honest about that directly affect why we're trash in transition. This man wants to keep those two guards on the floor because they're ball handlers and they both got bad feet to go along with Bron and AD's bad feet. So how the hell are we going to run in transition? Come on now. Let's give it some thought. So this is why I initially wanted us to put Lonnie Walker in the rotation in the first place, because I thought he could help us in transition offensive situations based off of defensive situations that we would create with the lineups we put him on the floor that would otherwise be defensive, but we only want to put him in offensive lineups and then leave him out there. It's like, that's how we lost. That's how we lost a lot of games early in the season too. Surprised coach would ever try that again. But nevertheless, here we are saying to you the same thing that I said this morning in this pregame video, that if we can get away from those 3-guard lineups, it'll help us in a multitude of ways. And transition defense is yet another one. So please get away from small ball. You ain't stopping nobody doing that in no kind of way. Half court, full court, none of that court. People's court, divorce court. You ain't stopping nobody small. Let's be honest. So that's pretty much what I got to say, man. It is game 6. Bring your effort necessary. Do not play around with the Golden State Warriors. This is Steph Curry. It really is. It's Steph Curry, honestly. You know what I'm saying? When I look and listen to how he speaks, I'm like, God, that's a real humble dude. The way he talks about needing to, approach these games, you know that he doesn't need to do anything but be humble, because when he steps out there, he's going to be like Michael Jackson or, Michael Jordan or Mike Tyson or one of them Mikes. He's going to do that kind of stuff tonight on our floor. What we need to do is bring the same intensity on the other end. You know what I mean? But the other end for us is actually defending his mates and turning them into turnover players, turning them into players that are fouling, turning them into players that aren't being successful in 50-50 balls, turning them into players that aren't rebounding the ball as well. These are things that we need to do to his teammates, so that while he's doing his Michael Jackson he things, the score is going the other way. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's about, because he gonna be him. Don't get it twisted. It's a big moment. I expect 50 big points from that man. 50. Wouldn't be surprised if he gives us 50 both of these next 2 nights. But those are not games we have to lose. It's only 50 points. They got to score 120 if we do what we're supposed to do. And I like Gary Payton. I like Moses Moody. But if we're intent on stopping them and understanding that they're intent on stopping us with them ball handlers that we're trying to run out there, then we understand that we'll be okay. Look, let me reiterate all of this because this is important. Zero in on those players: Moses Moody, Andrew Wiggins, Dante DiVincenzo. They're on the road, man. You may not expect them to hit shots, but it's a big game. 2 of them dudes NBA champions. They've been losing on the road all season long. It's up in the air. You don't know if they're going to play well or not. But we need to defend well, as if we expect them to hit every shot. Stop his mates. That's what I'm saying in regards to Steph Curry. Steph Curry's going to dance. Steph Curry's going to do it. But them other dudes, not in our house, man. If they're going to hit them shots, let it be in their house. Don't let them go off, go 8 for 8 in our crib. No. That's what we can stop. And that starts with Anthony Davis erasing crap at the rim. I promise you, Los Angeles, if you erase things at the rim, everything else falls into place. That turns into the ball that goes in transition that scores in. Those are the best games for us. When he's blocking a shot and then boom, the ball is popping in some weird way that they ain't rebounding and sliding the other way. Test their transition defense. And they have those defenders now. They've made the transition in regards to putting Gary Payton more so on the floor. I'd expect that they're going to be much better in transition in those situations. So my thought is try to remove Gary Payton from this game. If they're going to be better in transition defending us, then we need to remove those players who are best at defending us in transition. So these are the type of things, I'm telling you, it all boils down to getting guys in foul trouble. Everything I'm going to say is always going to boil down to that. Because you can do all the little dancing and geometry stuff with these guys. But at the end of the day, if you let them run enough of that stuff, they're going to get enough of them off to beat you. You have to get them off the floor. That's what my theory is. Containing Draymond Green, do not allow him to get layups, man. Do not let anybody get layups. We haven't been blocking shots lately, and we've been letting them slip past us with this little crap that they've been doing, all these little plays. Hopefully the adjustment has been made. We've learned what they've done. Hopefully we can get back to blocking shots because that's the best basketball for the LA Lakers. Transition, defense to offense. So that's what it is, man. And, I think we've done an excellent job with this. But I think it's worth saying, just so we can finish the series. It's just like anything else. You don't want to play 47 minutes. You got to play 48. So for the final game of this series, hopefully that'll be tonight. But regardless, for the end of this series, let's put ourselves in the best possible position to not try to outshoot the Golden State Warriors from behind the arc. Now, we did have a game where we did beat them that way. I think it was game 4. They shot especially poor, and we shot a very good percentage from behind the arc, keeping our shots down. We didn't attempt too many. But that's not going to happen 99% of the time. You're going to get outshot by the Golden State Warriors. We do not have to win that way. If they force us to shoot the 3, then from there we just have to take what they give us. If they're erasing everything in the paint, we could try what we did in game 5, forcing the issue, but if the refs aren't calling it, we're taking unnecessary punishment, and we still have to play game 7. So that's the unfortunate reality of our circumstance. We don't want to walk away too hobbled to play game 7. And that's how they've been doing this. They've been trying to hurt us. There's no reason for that to stop tonight. They're going to be physical. I think we need to be even more physical with them. I really do. Like I said that in the pregame video, I think physicality is the way to go tonight. Because one way or another, these two teams need to start considering altitude. And if those guys are beating us, they need to be worn down so the Denver Nuggets can beat them. Straight up. That's how it has to be. That's how it has to be. So at this point, physicality is the only way to go, and I think you don't find that physicality unless you go Rui, Winyan, Vando, Braun. Those guys have to be physical tonight. They have to be physical. Those are our physical players. They have to be physical tonight. And some of our guards too. If they got it in them, dish it out. But don't do too much. Don't do too much. Stay healthy. You know what I mean? So that's really what it is. And technical things. Turnovers, unforced turnovers, please. Let's keep those down. Stepping out of bounds. Travel. Missteps on pivots. Defense of 3 seconds. Whatever the hell it is. Let's not. Not tonight. Not in game 6. And if game 7 happens to happen, definitely not in game 7 either. So that's what it is, man. The intensity of the night. It's the intensity of the night. We will not cower to the Golden State Warriors. We will not hold our heads down for any reason, lead or deficit. You know what I'm saying? And if we keep our head all the way up, I'm pretty sure we will see what's coming at us properly, and we'll be able to defeat it because we're simply a more capable basketball team, and that is something we should not forget, no matter what the outcome of this particular matchup. But that, no matter what, we still have the advantage. So let's go in here like we know it. We got the house. They are not home. You know what I'm saying? And the LA Lakers are more than capable. So that's what I have to say, man. I'm hungry now. It's time for me to warm up a meal. Watch this and listen back to it as I always do. And see if I'm satisfied with the urgency necessary applied to this video, because I don't know that I am. This is game 6 of the second round. Their win or go home, our 2-game cushion. So, there's appreciation to be had for our circumstance versus theirs. But if we don't match their intensity and match their desperation, we're gonna know what they're going through real fast, like 48 hours from now, fast. Like I said, life comes at you fast in this series, so we need to understand that getting out of it fast was the most important thing. And right now, we just need to find an exit, a positive one at that. BDO 44. I thank you all for watching.